Hey everybody, this is Alex from My Traders Journal. Today I'm taking a look at options on UWM, that is the ProShares Ultra Russell 2000, which most of you know, hopefully, that is a leveraged ETF, supposed to run approximately 2 times the daily return of the Russell 2000. So that's what it says over here, 2 times the daily performance, which could mean that over a few months or a year it could be well off of that, and it's not really supposed to be used for long-term holds but for trades. I don't mind using it on options for longer than a few months because it has nice premiums on the options, and as long as I'm going far out of the money, I'm pretty good on it. It is not something for the faint of heart. Beta, at least compared to S&P, is over 2.3-ish, 2.4 almost. I guess it is 2.4 in the 10-year. So it's just nothing to be messed around with if you don't mind a little risk. I don't mind a little risk on this one. I'm still underinvested in my account, but I'm looking to add to that now. I have a little small cap exposure already, but small caps are down, so that is the time I like to get in deeper. So over here on the chart, it's down. UWM is down 1.14% today. For small caps in general, the IWM, I just tried to drag that over, it didn't work. There it is. IWM is down. That's just the regular Russell 2000 ETF index tracker. It's down 0.57%. So you can see 0.57 here, 1.2. So almost exactly double, but a little bit more of a fall, slightly more on UWM. So anyway, getting to the chart, I'm trying to figure out where I want my strike to be. My guess is going to be around 100, maybe 95. Give myself a lot of cushion. Obviously, before I even started recording this, I looked at the premiums a little bit, and that's where I think I'm going to head. But I want to go ahead and chart it out a little bit, see where some of these trend lines are running, where it might hit. And there's some interesting trends in here. It's definitely on its way down, you can see. Actually, even before I get that deep, let's just look at a month here. Then we can get a better look at the moving averages. Some things that are not bullish. There's the 50-day moving average up here in green. The 100, the 10, and the 20 are all in here together and moving lower. Actually, the 100 hasn't started going lower yet, but it's going to soon, it looks like. And then way down here is the 200. So the 200-day moving average could provide support, and we'll be looking for that. That plays a role in where I'm heading with this by the time I make my trade. And even on just a daily basis, let's just break it down just on the last few hours. This comes to some of yesterday, but today it's come down. When I first started looking at this, it was down here, so I kind of missed my spot just getting the video ready. It was around 109.50, I think, when I first glanced at it a little while ago, but it's coming back up. So maybe by the time I make my trade, it'll come back down. Either way, I'll probably go ahead and seize the opportunity while it's down over 1% today to make a trade. Otherwise, this video won't get posted, and then it won't really matter, will it? Alright, so coming back here, I'm still trying to figure out where it's heading in the near term, and then I'm going to look longer term. So finish drawing out some of these trend lines, draw it short, and I can stretch it. Nice thing about Interactive Brokers, how I have it set for the lines to auto extend. So if I get the end part right, I can drag it and see how far back that trend might have worked. So I'm getting in over here on the left side of this line I'm dragging, getting kind of where it's not that important. But what matters is through here, where the lows have been. This being the 2 lows recently, or at least year to date. Down here, dragging it all the way from basically right before the election, coming all the way up. It fell. That's not bullish. Fell through the longer trend line that I thought would have held today, but it's not playing nicely that way. So that's going to be one to watch. That might end up being my mistake, and I'll regret it later. Down here is where we can see support, though. See these trend line of lower lows. It could bounce off of 107.20-ish maybe, come back up from there, and then get a good reversal. On the other hand, let's add in Fibonacci lines here. And this isn't going to be 100% precise, but right about here is the bottom, up here to the top, just about that. and the 50% range is just below the 200, so that gives another line of support there. It could also come as low as the 38.2, which is coming on a pretty strong pullback. Also, you know what, I didn't even see this when I looked at it earlier. The 50% comes right about, or almost dead on, really, where it gapped up earlier back in November, right at mid-November. So that could be a serious line of support. I'm going to add in a trigger just for my curiosity. If it drops below there, I want to be alerted just for a round number, 100.6. And let's see what it really was here. Had a low of 176 there and a low, intraday low of 176 there. So I can move that up a touch, but it's right in there. Just to give you an idea, if it does drop below there, I kind of want to know, and that might make me either sell another option or change what I'm doing. But if it's down that much, if it's dropped $10 between now and then, I will have already lost money on paper. But that's going to be something to watch. So I'm thinking it could go somewhere near 100, give or take a buck, and could come all the way down to 96-ish if it goes to the 38.2. So if I start looking at the option prices over here, I see the 95 and the 100 look decent, and I need to plug it into my chart here. So right now it's trading at 109.90 and 109.90. If I can type. Seems to be a trend on these videos. I mistype. I have it at 14.1 weeks out. Today's a Thursday, but it's halfway through the day. It's about 2:17 now, about. And there's no trading tomorrow, Good Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and call it the end of the week. So half a day left plus 14 full weeks before expiration. So the 95 is, let's see, we'll get a peg on the 95 and the 100. Oops, I didn't mean to do that yet. The 100 around 430, the 95 around 320. Flip those so I could have it with the smaller one on top. Just how my mind works. I like to see the smaller and get bigger as it goes down. Just if you're wondering why I keep clicking, first one's a mistake, next one was to correct it. Anyway, so plug in 320 over here on my chart. Well, let's hang on before I even do that. There, the bid ask, the size, there's a lot more in the bid. I think we could get a little above that, so I'm going to stick with 330, which is what I have down here. On the other one, I just sold this in one of my clients' accounts a little while ago, 440. This is 430 now, and again, they're more bidding for it than asking, so I think we could probably swing to the upper side. I'm going to go in and try to get the same price I did for him as I want to get from me, which would be nice. It gives me 13% downside from where it is right now. And again, remember this is leverage, so that's only like 6.5% in for the S&P, but that 6.5% is a pretty good margin of error, especially when it topped out around 120 before it fell. So that would be a 20%. On the using the 100 strike, it would be a 20% correction, or 10% on the Russell without the leverage, and 23.5, so about 12%, maybe more like 11.5% if I did the 95. I don't mind buying it at 10% down, so I'm going to go ahead and do the 100. That also puts my cost around 95, so let me pull the chart back here. And that's what I was saying. I could go down to 95 or even 96 and put me here. So put my strike here around the 100. That's right just below the 200, which I think is probably going to hold. Also right where it gapped, which would give another reason to hold support. If that breaks, it could come as low as the 38.2% on the Fibonacci line and then reverse. So I might be assigned the shares at 100. My cost would still be closer to 95. And then when it reverses, and we know it will eventually, you know, when means it could drop down to 60 before it reverses. But eventually when it reverses, I should be looking good because I am buying it at a 20% discount from where it peaked. So let me go back over to the option table here. I'm going to get rid of the 95 so I don't screw up and hit the wrong one. And see, it's rising. No, it's still at 109.90. I'm going to go up here at a 440, see if I can get that. I'm tempted to go a little higher, see if 450 works. I don't think it will, but sometimes if you go in close, when that many, it'll hit. So let's just see what happens here. And transmit, let's see, double check. It's in my account, 450, right between the bid and ask. Not right away here. There's only one. I bet that if I would have gone to 440 originally, it would have hit right away. So I'm not going to mess around and try to go ahead and get it. Didn't hit right away. I'm actually surprised about that. Sometimes if you've put one order in a little higher and you try to creep it lower, you don't get the same price. I don't know if it's algorithms out there or what's doing it, but I've seen sometimes where I go with that 440 right away instead of trying to get that extra 10 cents, and it doesn't hit if I use the higher price and work my way down. But if I would have gone at 440, the algorithm thinks it's close enough and goes. I could be completely wrong. That could have been coincidence when I did it before. Let me change this to 430. It makes, well, here, I'll do this. 100 on that one, and 430 here, and my order already is 440. So that's the difference of half a point, or 0.4% on an annualized basis. Just between looking at these two, this is the percent returned if there's no strike, or yeah, if it's assigned, not assigned, excuse me, just with the money I have in reserves. 0.1% difference, or not quite even that. And my cushion is barely any different, so it doesn't really cost me much to reduce this to 430 since it hasn't hit yet, and see if I can get an order to go ahead and go through, and then I'm done. Update, bam, hits right away. Good. I have that volume up a little bit too high there. Alright, so looking at my trade here, that is UWM, that's the July 100 that I sold. Put 430 is what I sold for, only 25 cents in commissions, and that is $429.75 for me to keep as long as it stays above 100, or I get assigned and keep it anyway and just have a reduced cost to the equivalent of 95.70 ish. Not a bad way to enter into it. Since like I said, I have a pretty good cushion there. So anyway, that's where I am. I am pretty good on small caps now, so I need to look for something else on my next trade. But this was just an easy one, I thought, while stocks were down. But that's it for today. You remember to subscribe. I'll put a button up here to subscribe to. I'll put it somewhere on this side. And if you're not familiar with my options table over here, I have a video. I'll put a link to it over here so that you can go and see how this option table works. Kind of flew through it on this, but anybody who's new to my site is welcome to use that. It's free. It's available on mytraderjournal.com, and there's a link to it within the comments also. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and leave any comments if you have questions or just want to praise my brilliance. You're welcome to do that too. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.